Hello, and welcome to Show Up with Excellence. I am Dr. Josiah Jackson, Josiah with fire. Hello, and welcome. So if you've never been here before, this show is about, or podcast, it's called show, is a show. Anyway, it's about helping educators. So if you're in that arena, let's see, as an administrator, school board member, teacher, educator, someone just helping out, school staff. And so we are here helping you, to encourage you, motivate you in a humorous way, and maybe a volunteer in a school. There you go. And doesn't matter, and the school setting, private, public, charter, homeschool. There you go. All those places and spaces. And of course, parents. Absolutely. I mean, without you, it's just a building, Anyway, so if you're in any of those, and superintendents, well, that's the top of the line. Forgot about that. But those that arena with those different persons in that arena, I should say. So anyway, here we are. So welcome. Our topic today, again, first of all, I'm so glad you're here with me. And but we're just going to dive right in. So, how could I forget? I love to show this. There you go. Anyway, I am excited again. Wow. It's amazing. I remember last year how quick it went by, and I feel like, wow, this is stuff go by pretty fast. But anyway, let's slow it down. Anyway, yes. So today we are talking about, let me get that up there. Have that, and I always say, if you're not there, start today, this very moment, minute after this. Anyway, have a winning attitude. So let's move into that. We all face challenges. We all do, daily, weekly, monthly, and throughout the year. But I specifically want to talk about the challenges that educators and our teachers, because sometimes people are not in a school setting, but they're an educator. And by the way, parents, yes, you are your child's first teacher. There you go. But anyway, so I'm going to just kind of compare this, to educators together, and or an administrator and their staff, or it could be the superintendent and the administrator. The whole point here is school staff and or someone, comparing the two, can both be in a situation where they're facing a challenge. And here's the interesting part, though. One would grow, one will quit. If I was teaching children, grow starts with G, quit starts with Q. Anyway, I do teach them it. Those moments come up. Anyway, the difference is with the one who grows, the one who quits, there's an attitude. Absolutely. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that, because, interestingly, people can quit and still have a great attitude, meaning I quit and walk out. Oh, I know where I'm going to the next place, step, whatever. And again, the point, though, is there's a different attitude with both of those. When you grow, yay, I grew, however, growing takes, a lot. So when I'll just compare that to growing it, from people to a tree. And I say a tree because trees get pruned. The leaves come out at a certain time. And again, we're like that, too. We don't say, I'm being pruned. No one talks about that. But there are times and seasons in our life where that growing is taking place. Sometimes it's great, and sometimes it's not. I mean, after all, if the trees could talk, they'd be screaming and hollering too. Get off me! And I'm not ready. So there are those moments when even through that growth, they may, the attitude could still be, I'm screaming, hollering, mad. Just like when you quit, I'm screaming, hollering, mad. However, there are other moments when you're both excited. Excited I'm growing, excited I quit. So the difference really in all of that is their attitude, how we see them, how we see the outside of them. So this year, be intentional about showing up with a great attitude. Now, of course, you're going to come up, you're going to show up in places and you're like, I know she wasn't talking about this place. But yeah, we all go through that. And but I say, just like I'm sharing with you, I'm learning to do better myself, and showing up places that, maybe I don't want to be at. And, but anyway, the key really is we start working on that. Um, because, interestingly, it really is easy to smile. It's hard to frown because you have to make that face. And I often say it's as it looks like it's easy to talk about people, but it is really hard because you got to spend the time doing all that, saying the negative, opposed to just saying the positive. You're great, and saying things to help them. Anyway, the key is showing up with a great attitude. Make it happen this year. Make it happen. Be intentional about that. You know, as I look, think about that, because a lot of times what we say is the first half of the school year, September to December, and now we're in what's called the second half. For some areas in our schools, some are all year, so year-long schools, but I dub this as the second half of the year. So be intentional. Maybe you left the year with a lot of chaos, stress, fear, tired, and you might even say while you're on the break, I am not going back. I'm going to take as many days as I could off. Or somebody said, I quit. I am not going back. Because believe it or not, some people quit. They didn't come back. They said, December, when they left for winter break, that was it. And they left and didn't come back. That, I've seen that happen many times. But anyway, the goal is wherever you are, if you're still in a school building teaching, if you're online teaching, if you are homeschooling, because again, some people who start homeschooling, some then end up getting a work schedule where it doesn't fit their child's education and or their schooling, and so they have to put them back in a regular building of school and or have someone else do it for them. But anyway, the bottom line is be intentional about showing up and claiming that space. By the way, when you show up, it's like we will see that scene in several movies, growing up in several movies, when I showed up, the party started. Have that attitude. The party's starting when I show up. That whole attitude, and do that, so that others, because the good you do, what you see, it rubs off to the others. Just like the negative, that rubs off too. Anyway, the point is, negative moments come, absolutely, and we don't like them. Sometimes we don't mind. Sometimes we do. But anyway, the key is when you see it, just, sometimes you have to make that mental note. Don't like this, don't want to be here, but I'm here. Give sarcasm. Looking around the room, we're going to talk about, and or all that. The key is, even in those negative spaces and moments, just push through that and still show up. By the way, when I've been saying this for a while, what it really means is, again, you showing up, it's not necessarily for you, it's for the other people. Now, of course, you're thinking, why am I showing up for everybody else? Why am I showing up for them? Because you never know who you are showing up for. I'm amazed, and you probably had this happen. You showed up at a school board meeting, or you showed up at a staff meeting, and just the look on your face because you showed up with, hey, I know this is a meeting, but hey, I'm here. And I have a whole lot on my mind, but you still came with a pleasant looking face. Someone else who might be sitting there who had a bad day was thinking, or if the meeting was in the morning, maybe a bad morning, and they're thinking, I don't want to be here. But then they see you, like they seem to be looking well, or if they see you smiling, I wonder what's going on with them because they're smiling. I don't want to be at this meeting, but it just may change their attitude about being there. That's the point. So show up, because again, you're helping. Even if you don't say a word, you're helping. And now some people may tell you and some won't. So a lot of times we don't know. And then it had several opportunities of that, examples of that. And I've showed up in a place and did not know it until weeks and months later when someone said, that meeting we were at a couple of months ago, might have been months and or weeks. And they said, well, I saw you. That's why I know it works, because that happened to me. And I'm sure it happened to you. And think of all those places that moment happened to you where you showed up. And months later, or it could be a year later, and someone said, it was because you were there. It's because of you. Yes, you showed up. Anyway, that's what the whole showing up piece is about. But show up with some excellence. So with excellence. But moving on, don't get stuck there. Don't get stuck just hearing and seeing and being a part of all the naysayers, the gossipers, the complainers. Be the person who's going to be intentional and move forward. Because people do that. We know, we know. They're going to be naysayers, gossipers, and all the negative people. Stay away from them. And, or, sometimes you can be next to them And here's where I know this. Sometimes I'm next to them. They may not gossip and talk about the person at the very moment. They might do it later, but that just says something about when I'm in their presence, and then they're going to talk about it because maybe they feel guilty. I don't know. I know they do. Anyway, the light that's in me. So shine bright. So, yeah, that. So anyway, the point is show up, be there. I do have some points I'm going to leave with you today, but before I get there, again, be there in that moment. And I often do say, spend more time working on you, not others. Mhm. Let me just say that slowly. Spend more time working on you and less and not others. Because again, I often wonder when people gossip, I'm thinking, is that what you do? Is all you sit around and do? Because I have too much to do. I have a lot going on. I do a lot. And I don't have time. I don't have time to, even if I see something that someone's doing, whether, maybe it's their time to shine. I'm like, hey, great. Or, I mean, maybe I could be, I wish it was my moment kind of thing. But it's like, I'm not going to go start talking about that. I have too much to do. And honestly, so much to do. I don't even have time. As a matter of fact, I am even in my family. Sometimes I'm the last person to hear about something. I think that now changed a little because we have the internet. So sometimes I can Google that and see it, or search and surf the internet, and see some of those things or people, something in the news. But typically, they come to me. They go, "Oh, did you hear about that?" I'm like, "No, I didn't." Oh, well, okay, what's going on? And then if it is something, I'm like, or sometimes depending on who the name. If it's a name that I know has already been out there, I'm like, I don't want to know. No, I didn't see it. Don't want to know. Some people would. Those people do come. They'll still just, well, let me tell you anyway. Anyway, the point is spend more time on working with you, yourself. What can you improve on? Improve you and not just others. I often say, I want to assume this. The people who do that, it's because they don't like themselves. They don't like themselves, don't know themselves. Because let me tell you, I just have a lot that I do. And I don't have time to I just don't have time. I don't have time. I have a lot. I'm working on me, and it's a lot working on me and doing things that I don't have time to talk about people. So anyway, I guess I had to stay there for a minute because that's where we are. I mean, not that we haven't been there in our world, but it's a message to show up with excellence and show the excellence. Anyway, having a winning attitude or a winning attitude, what does that mean? Well, New Year started. We're already into third week. Wow. And interestingly, some people have walked back into the building, from weeks ago, and we're like, "Oh, I gotta be there. I don't want to be there. How am I going to make it through this?" I just say, do what you can and keep on moving and grooving. But anyway, people walked into the buildings and it was like, have an excellent attitude, but I don't want to be here. Okay, well, but it's like, I remember when I was young, people would say, if you had $1 million, what would you do? Or act like you had $1 million, how would that look? Well, show me the look. And of course, everybody's, yeah, the smile and everything. So I often say too, do the same, look at walking through those, you may call them mountains, wilderness, whatever you want to call it, mess, I don't know. Looking at that, look like you walk in like $1 million, like I have $1 million. I am the $1 million winner here. And because your walk will be different. Now, you can always think of something else. I think there's the other phrase I heard people talk about, go to your happy place. Think of your happy place. So, that's what you have to do because it is tough. These are tough times. And but just keep pushing through that. So having a winning attitude just means, what can I do? Now, I'm not saying you have to be fake. If you don't like something, I mean, I'm not going to make you change overnight. That's you. But the key is start moving forward in that direction. So anyway, if you have to work in the school building or out the building, and maybe you're working online with students, and there's some students who have just been mean to you, or the family has been mean. And so you're thinking, I don't want to work. I mean, now you have the choice not to work with them. But the bottom line is, start changing. I will say, though, when I think of middle school and high school, Whoa, you all. And I think y'all are looking at us going, elementary teachers. Yeah. But that is tough because our middle schoolers, oh my, that has been, even for, I would say, the last 10 or so years, our middle schoolers have just been tough. High school as well. Even elementary now, we're starting to see some tough students in elementary as well. But anyway, the bottom line is, even through all of that, show up and show up with all of, uh, they have they're going through, and you just have to have that energy to keep make it through with them. Because I'm sure you're going, she obviously has not been in my building. Mm-mm. Oh, girl, she had not even been in my school building. You don't know what we see. And, or, I don't know what school you're talking about because I don't even see that. I've seen it. I have seen it. And yeah, you just have to plow through. I'm not saying like it, meaning I have to like this and, fold your hands together and just let them walk all over you. No, and what I'm saying is we've seen it. What are you going to do? I mean, yeah, oh my, I worked at a building where, and this was, I was working with seventh graders, and oh my. They were cussing, they were doing what they want to do, they were on the internet. I'll watch what I want to watch, and they were like, oh, we're not going to listen to you, and all of that. I just remember, even the administration stepped in, they still were walking over them, and it was like, really, wow. Interestingly, though, I still showed up. I'm still gonna give in what I do, my A+ mindset and behavior. The good thing is you have the group doing what they do, but let me tell you, there was another group they were saying, I am so thankful you're here, because most people couldn't stand up to them like that. Most people couldn't tell them, please be quiet, please sit down. Most people wouldn't even try. They just turn around and let it go. And they're like, thank you. And so for that group, and that was a small group, that was the group, hey, we're here to learn. We don't want to be a part of all what's going on, but I'm here to do my thing. And that's just how they saw it. So anyway, show up with the attitude, winning attitude, because someone's watching. That maybe it's that quiet student that you see, well, they're off to themselves, they're quiet, but they just might see you and admire, wow, you're still here to win. I go to some other classes and students walk all over the teachers. So anyway, that situation. Now, yes, it has been horrible. So we're not going to talk about that today. Coming up with the winning attitude, but it has been horrible, where teachers have been hit. And certainly not, I mean, those are just some situations, watch videos of that, meaning there's some out there people have shown, but come in with a winning attitude. Yeah, come in with a winning attitude. I'm gonna leave it there because that could go another whole way. But today, talking about a winning attitude. I do happen to have a definition of that, a winning attitude. Anyway, the definition comes from, something I saw on Google. Yeah, I go to there a lot, and or the dictionary. But anyway, I just happened to go to Google on this one. Winning, having succeeded or being marked by a favorable outcome. It's about the attitude. Look at that. And interestingly, even before I saw this definition, it was the title topic, winning attitude, came. And so when I saw that, it's like, well, that's interesting. It's about the attitude. See, it's about the attitude, winning. We maintain, it's about the attitude we maintain toward life. A win is small and or big, intentional act. It's about purpose, setting meaningful daily goals, and gratitude. Gratitude key, because I mentioned that a few weeks ago. So winning is about gratitude, and it's about gratitude. There you go. So anyway, again, have a winning attitude. Now, I do want to quickly leave with you some points to have. 4 points I want to leave with you, and then have a great day after that. So the first point I want to leave is, when we talk about winning, winning with your mind, what are your thoughts? Of course, again, I mentioned you have to be intentional to have those thoughts of, it's like, I know you've seen this, I've seen it. Television shows will depict someone like close their eyes and it's kind of like the book story too. I think, and so they would do it similar to that, but they'll close their eyes and I can do it. I know I can do this. And so, yeah, that's sometimes what you have to do. Sometimes you have to physically do that and or say it. So thoughts become outcomes, which means every result starts as a thought. So Oh, that's interesting. I thought I should put these up. But anyway, I'll do it next time. So thoughts become outcomes. So every result and or thought you have, that, it starts that way. But then you have to make sure, because sometimes we have to run that by people, like I was thinking of this, and not all the time, but anyway, your thoughts become outcomes. So think of even those negative words that come up, how can I change that? Yeah, and again, I'm not trying to change you. You are who you are. So you are probably, I come across people who are just always using curse words all the time and or talking negative. And some, that's just who they are. And they'll say that, although you can change. But I just, let's just talk about me. Anyway, thoughts. So even when those negative thoughts come, because there are times, yeah, I do see children doing things. I'm like, what in the world? Why? And you have to be creative at that. But it takes practice, and you have to do it enough times. Now I'm not saying, because yes, I do get loud. Like when they do something like, what? What in the world are you doing? And I, have to raise my voice so they understand that they're children. Yeah, so raise your voice at all children. Oh, we up to 19, 20, so 21. Anyway, so move on. Thoughts become outcomes. So what you're thinking can then become, now again, there's that thoughts become action. Yeah, but thoughts become outcomes. What are you thinking? How can you improve on what you're thinking and have a winning attitude? Let's go there. Point number 2 is change the thought, changes your future. So a little like the first one, but because you can, oftentimes we just say it and then we're like, how does that work? So, if you want to see a better outcome, it starts with what you say, what you think. And again, you can be thinking the negative. You can be thinking, oh my goodness, look at them. And then you talk out loud. Look at you. So, yeah, thoughts become, watch what you say, it comes out. Anyway, so yeah, you have to practice at that. And sometimes some people don't practice, just comes out. Anyway, but if you think about it, then take action with that. So anyway, if you just joined us, let me just pause for the cause. Anyway, we're talking about, so if you just joined us, or you have been watching us, like and share. By the way, let me say it this way. Yeah, if you just joined us, I would say, like and share, send it to someone. But we're talking about a winning attitude. Do you have a winning attitude? Do people say you have a winning attitude? I want to be around you because you win. Anyway, that's what we're talking about. So we're actually on point number 3, but I'll quickly run through all of them once I get to point 4. Point 3 is train your mind. So interestingly, I talked a lot about that already. You have to train your mind mentally and then exercise. So train your mind and body. Mentally thinking of those things, saying affirmations. I will do great today. I will have a great day. That's how you change your mindset. Focus on what you're saying. Focus on the language of what you're saying. Reframing what you're going to say. Or reframing the challenges, challenging words that come up. Reframe that. And again, let me just move on. Exercise, so along with training your mind, I want y'all to say train your body, so whether you joined a gym or you're just going to exercise alone or with others, exercise your body that way. And then just eat healthy. So train your mind and your body. So along with changing the mindset and mood of becoming more positive and or having a better attitude and a winning attitude, change your mind, change your body. The last point is lead with a winning attitude. So again, wherever you are, again, I'm going to go from typically it's top down with one bottom up. If you're just, if you are a teacher, principals over you, your staff, principals over you, principal superintendents over them. So, that's going up the ladder and lead with a winning attitude. So as a teacher, lead with a winning attitude. I know every one of those children walk through your class, you're thinking, all those And, you'll see the ones that are going to challenge you. You see the ones that are, going to be on your side. I like you, teacher. And again, same thing happens with principals. You're going to see the ones that are going to challenge you and the ones that are going to be, yep, I'm with you, helping you. Just know I got you. Superintendent, same thing. Yeah, principals are like, oh, Oh, you're the new superintendent. Okay. Lead with a winning attitude, because I tell you, no one knows until you say it. But anyway, leadership can be tough for everyone, anyone who's a leader. By the way, there's some children who you see have leadership skills, and some will be that leader. They take on, or they will take charge. And so not necessarily you're talking with them today, but anyway, the point is lead with a winning attitude. So leaders, be accountable, be consistent, communicate. There you go. Be accountable, consistent, communicate. Yeah. Anyway, almost there. So by the way, when they see all that, as a principal and our superintendent, well, when everyone sees that, they feel confident. They feel they trust you, like you're leading us somewhere. Even if you're leading them in a ditch, they'll probably still follow you. But that's what's powerful about leading. You can lead people left or right, and they'll follow you. The bottom line is, certainly lead them in the right direction, but there will be some lead them the other way. But performances become efficient, and that's really what I would leave you with. So let me just recap all of that. First of all, we're talking about winning, having a winning attitude. And so, grab my notes here. So point number 1, thoughts become outcomes. Number 2, change those thoughts so they are better outcomes. And that's really when you start thinking about what you're going to say, or again, sometimes, like we say, something runs out of our mouth, comes out quick, and then we go, oops. So anyway, just start training yourself. Start saying affirmations. So that's point number 3, train your mind and your body. Train yourself by saying those positive affirmations. I am a winner. I am on top. I can do this. I'm going to have a great day, whatever that is. But start focusing on that language. And then actually train your body, meaning show up in places or spaces. And because, again, sometimes you think it's more about you, when sometimes it's about someone else watching you. Just be there. You could not say anything. Point number 4, lead with a winning attitude. So lead with a winning attitude. So that's all that I have for you today. I'm trying to make sure I have everything. So by the way, even in closing, let me just say this. We're not perfect. I'm not saying become perfect. What I'm saying is you can make changes. It's up to you. Anyway, train your mind, train your mind to have a winning attitude. I'm not saying I didn't even say all day, every day. Just said train your mind to have a winning attitude. So just start working on that. So anyway, that's all I have for you. Again, like and share. I do, as I'm leaving, I always want to say it's been a joy and awesome just sharing this information, hoping you have a great attitude, a great day, and all that you do. I am so excited to have this opportunity to share that information about a winning attitude. And I hope you were excited listening. And wow, I guess that's all we have today. So enjoy the rest of your day.